Okay, and then other resources, your team, you could talk to them. I would say talk to them at the end. And there would be also ServiceNow. You could look up, you could put the host name, the computer name into the ServiceNow, and it will bring up all the tickets in there. And then you could go back and look at the previous ticket, how those were things. So ticketing system is there.
Right.
And then you put Google. When I worked for Apple, we were using Google. Okay, so you could imagine. And then this document here, what you've been doing. You could most of the things in this document, you will have almost everything in there. It's just a little different. Would be just you just have to use your brain to do this here. I mean, over here I'm saying ch mode, and then assignment here. You just have to realize, oh, you want to give the name of the folder that's in question. You're not going to say chmod assignment. You just have to realize which folder you want to give the name to, or change the permissions to.
Right.
Okay, so um, so this is a contract, and then if it's a hardware, if it's a VMware, then there is a contract with VMware. And what else? If there is a contract with HP, IBM, Dell, you work with outside vendors. And then you have a chat. You could chat with somebody in their team. Okay. And you have other teams. If you don't understand anything, so like somebody sent me, he couldn't connect to a database. Okay. Okay. So the ticket comes to you. I looked in there, and then his ID is not in there. Because he's not part of the local admin, he's a part of a database. So that question in itself, you have to realize that that's not your problem. That's not a Linux issue. That's an issue with the database. So you have to route the ticket to the database team. So before that, whoever sent you a ticket, you just have to talk to them and say what's going on. No matter how much documentation you put in there, you still need to talk to somebody. Okay, try to talk to somebody on the phone before you even talk to somebody on chat and all that, because talking on the phone is much better than chatting and all that, because there is a high chance of miscommunication. And if you look at this document here, this document is nice and great here, right? I won't, somebody who never was in this class, he won't be able to understand what the heck this document is. So you have to know, you have to have some knowledge, and then work through the process before you know it. So that's how it's going to be at any job. They're going to ask you. They won't expect you to know everything. But they'll give you about 6 months time so that you could learn their tricks, and then after that, you will work independently. So if something comes up 6 months after, somebody want you to make a folder and then give permissions, and you're not able to do it, then I don't know what to tell you. But I have good confidence that it won't come to that. Okay, what I'll do is I will also trim this document down. I'm going to put only the commands in here. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of this stuff here, of course, in a new document, so that a lot of this output sometimes when you're looking at it might confuse you. Okay, so yeah, actually I prepared the document for for the for the class on the long weekend. Yeah. And then the first is also on Friday. So there is one more opportunity right there. Are you working this week at all? The last week?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you working the last week of December?
Uh, Yeah, we're off on Friday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But the Christmas week, we're off 4 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So are you doing any what the servers you're building? Are you building mostly Linux or Windows?
Okay, I'm not doing a lot of software side, mostly hardware. So I don't have a lot of experience with like server 2012 or 19 or 16 or whatever.
So what are you doing? You are racking and stacking. Is that what you're doing?
A little bit of building racks, and then yeah, raking and stacking, and then like building a server up to their specifications, whatever they want in.
So you
Like
would have
hard.
like good knowledge of hardware. So mostly
Yeah,
are these?
yeah.
So what is the hardware? What brand company?
Mostly HP, some Dell.
Okay, yeah. And then if IBM is there, but IBM is more expensive.
Yeah, I no, we never get IBM as far as I've been there.
Which HP is this? What is it running? 7,000 series now? 79 something, right?
For what?
The model number for HP server?
It's Gen 10, right?
Okay.
Usually.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you ever go into the ILO of those servers? Do you ever boot it up or you just
Yeah, yeah. ILO, we put ILO, iDirect,
ID
on
rack?
Dell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are the things you'll be using to connect remotely
Right. Yeah.
to do hardware troubleshooting.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so uh, the video for 1011 is
And we work on a lot of different types of switches. I don't even know what they are. For Amazon.
Amazon. If you're ready to move to Seattle or what is that Oregon? What is that big city in Oregon? Portland.
Portland.
Yeah. If you end up getting a job there, well, right now it's going to be remote.
Mm.
I have some connection at Amazon and Apple here. Let me see what I could do after this class here because Amazon likes people on site.
Mm.
So does Apple. Are you building those racks for Amazon?
I'm sorry?
The racks you're building, are they going to Amazon?
No, they're for different customers. There's this one Come and Go. I think it's a gas station franchise or something, and probably some Amazon too. Yeah, Amazon, and there are like other customers. I don't always look at the name of the customer. I'm not in the habit of it, but like the people that have been there for a while, they always look at the customers. I'm not into that yet.
Well, look at
Yeah,
it because Amazon is gonna own everything. I mean,
yeah, we get a lot of stuff for Amazon.
yeah.
Scanners, switches, APs.
APs. What is AP? Access point? Port?
Access point, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We also worked briefly on, well, we're actually, some people are still working on Chipotle. They built the whole POS system for them. I worked on that for a little bit, but then they moved into,
POS. Usually those are IBM, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, IBM and NOC are in there. NRC are one of those two. But anyway, so we did started on group here, right? So umask, create new group. So the user administration and permissions, they both are interdependent, okay? So you don't have to remember a lot of things here. The things you would get is all the time is add a user, okay? And then you have to add a user to a specific group. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to just set a user mod, and then you would put him in that group. Okay, you get that, and then the permissions of the file, the ownership, you provide the ownership to whatever group that user belongs to. Those are the things you get a lot. UMask, don't even worry about it. You should keep this as an informational. Okay. Sudo command, I'm gonna try to look harder here, but most of the sudo commands I looked into is wheel group is the people in my team. Nobody else have a sudo command, so I was thinking the monitoring team who does like overnight monitoring and all that, they don't have full root access, but they would have some kind of sudo access, but I'm not sure how it's being done. I'll try to find out, okay? If I don't find out, it's not a big deal. You just have to worry about. But if you find a user, like this last week, I found a user who has a wheel group, okay? And he's not an administrator, he's a part of some application team. And then I sent an email, because usually if somebody who's not a part of a Linux group has a wheel group, so I always stop and question that, because he will have a full root access. Okay, so I did the GID. I want to explain what group is before I move forward. Okay, it's a mechanism for to manage collection of computers users. Okay. So Linux groups okay, so Linux groups are a mechanism to manage a collection of computer system users.
So what Linux group, if the person was part of a wheel group and had sudo access, what Linux group would you expect him to be a part of? Where you would
Your
have
team.
questioned? Your
Linux.
team? Okay.
Linux, yep. It's automatically, I think Red Hat 7 started as a wheel group, and it will automatically give him root access. For example, so let me start the system here. Practice is on, right? So we have Terminator here, right? He's a part of a wheel group. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate the session here and Terminator, and I'm gonna put in the password. Okay, so far he's a regular user. Okay, now you could switch to other users once you logged in here. So if you do SU hyphen, that means you switch to user, switch to root, and I'll hit enter. It says now it's asking for the no, actually let me cancel this. I'm gonna do sudo su hyphen. Now it's gonna ask for the password for Terminator. Okay, I'm gonna give his own Terminator password. But look, now since he's a part of a wheel group, he has become a root now. He's become a root now. Once you become a root, that's it. You have access to everything inside your company. Now what yeah, go ahead.
Could you go putty screen?
I'm sorry?
Could you view the other putty screen?
Yeah. So this is how it's going to be. When you go onto a job, you would be put in the pseudo group. You will put in the wheel group, okay?
Okay.
You will be part of a wheel group. Where is it? You'll be part of a wheel group, okay? And when I checked, most of my teammates are part of wheel group. You logged in as a regular user, then you switch to root. And if you're not able to do it, then you have a problem with the root.
Okay.
So one of the application team member, he was part of a root wheel group, and he was taking liberty to go in and install the applications and all that, which is not allowed. So I revoked his access, and he was crying about it. And in fact, it was noted as a security violation. I mean, we are trying to find out how he got the wheel access to begin with. So a regular user would never be able to get a wheel access unless somebody gave him. It has to be one of our guys who physically added him to the wheel group here. So, if something comes up like this, speak up here, because that's what the people like to hear inside the company, and it's a right thing to do. You should, if he's not part of your team, he shouldn't be in the wheel group. So let me remove him from wheel group and see what happens here. Okay, so okay, you know what, actually let me show that officially in a minute here. So let's go back here, Linux group managers. Oh, I already put it here. So why am I doing this here? Yeah, I don't need this then. Okay, so we created a new group, and we added the user to the group, and so user group add -a and -g, uppercase G means he becomes a part of a secondary group. And if you do a lowercase g, then he will be that this will replace his GID and make it whatever group as a main ID. Okay. All right. So now we did the assign folders. We did group ownership. Okay, and he's a machine and all that.
So wait, which command will change his main group ID?
So there are two commands here. You could do a ch group. Ch group is mainly used for the folders here. So if you want to add the user to the group here, you do user mod.
Okay.
And then -ag. Okay, so over here, why am I doing this is wrong. This is user mod.
So if you wanted to change the main group, would you just not include the capital G?
You include the lower G.
Okay, lower G.
So if I do user mod -ag, and I'm going to put him in machine group 9000, and I'm going to give him a terminator. What happened here? G groups. G is inactive. Force group as a. So yeah, this is supposed to be force group as a primary group. Okay, so he's already in that group, so I'm gonna suggest G. So what happens here is I'm gonna do ID terminator. Now see, if you notice here, he used to be part of, his primary group used to be 1000, right? Now his primary is 9000 now.
And do you always have to include the user ID name in there too when you're just trying to change the primary group? Or could you just leave that out?
Well, you have to tell which group is being assigned to which user, right? Yeah, you need this. You need this, the group ID or the name, and then user ID or username. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay. So we did, I'm gonna clear this. So I'm gonna remove it from the wheel group. So I'm gonna remove him from the wheel group here. So user mod hyphen, okay, hold on, user mod, I don't normally do this here, man, append add C comment D user directory expire date E F inactive G login lock move P prefix shell UID U unlock B remove the range of subordinates, no. Sub-GID Z. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is you put in Google here, remove user from group. So how to remove user from a group? Okay, so what you see here is user mod option. Appropriate -G, but you won't specify the group. You can remove group 2 by running.
Assalamualaikum.
User mod -G. Okay, -D. User will remove user from group. G password -D user. I don't think that's correct. Check a user group in Linux. Okay, so G password. Okay, let's try this here. So it's saying G password -D, and then so I'm going to remove it from wheel group, wheel, and I'm going to remove the terminator. Removing user wheel from no, I did it wrong. So you have to remove terminator from wheel. Okay, now you do ID terminator. So he's not part of a group anymore. So if he do sudo su, he won't be able to do it. So ownership, so wheel is the group. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna do this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is G password -D stands for delete terminator wheel. So this is group, this is command delete user ID, and this is group ID. All right, that should be good enough for now. All right, so now if I'm logged in as terminator, so I'm going to exit now. Let me see if I'm able to do it without completely exiting. So I have to completely exit, okay? I have to do a new login. So I'm going to log in as terminator. And if I do sudo -su, okay, so he says you are not part of a terminator, part of a wheel group. Okay, so that's how you manage the users here. So the machine group has permissions here. Okay, so next concept we have here is called set group ID. Okay, so let's see what is this set group ID. Set, that's, it's also called SGID, right? So let's take a look here what SGID is. So the directory created belongs to the group. Let's see, the permission is in. Okay, I don't like this here. Okay, so what is this set GID? Set GID, I'll explain you. SGID. Okay, so all the files that are created in a directory with SGID set belongs to the group to which the directory belongs. Not to the users group. Not to the group users belong, okay? So what I'm going to show you here is, let me clear this. let's take a look at LS. So we have financing data, right? ls-ld data. So if you look here, the group data group is the user is root, and the group is also root here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here. But this is that here. But if you look at the group permission here, anybody who is in the group is not able to read or write in there. So I'm going to change the permission to write. So what I'm going to do is chmod. Okay, and so chmod. Chmod, I'm gonna say G plus write / data. Okay, if you do ls-ld data, so this user, okay, did I give the permission to wrong? Yeah, to the group. Anybody who is not any other group could go in there and write to the data, right? So let's see if the terminator is able to do that. So I'm going to clear this, and what I'm going to do is cd data, and then I have to do ls here, nothing is there. I'm going to do touch file1. Okay, so okay, so in this case the terminator is other, so I'm going to give a permission to other. I'm gonna put it back the way it was.
So you could just do chmod 757. That should,
yeah,
right?
You could do that too. 7572. Okay, so you do other plus w. If you do ls-ld data, you see somebody who is a terminator should be able to create a file here, and he is now. ls-l, you say, and now you see the file is created in there by the terminator, and then the group, his primary group is machine, so the file is owned by the user terminator, and the group owner of the file is machine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is so there will be an instance that when the data is there, nobody who is writing the data. For example, the terminator, when he comes down again and try to write the data here, he may be the user owner, but the group owner, we're going to change it so that, okay, so this is what it is. If you go work for a company and you did a invention when you're working at the company, that invention will become a part of the company, right? Would you agree? It won't be your invention. It will be the company's invention. Do you agree on that? And that's how the most employment works. If you're working for an employer, if you're a scientist, and if you're working for like all these vaccines, we are hearing that vaccines are coming out and all that. So the intellectual property of those vaccines will be owned by the company, not by the user, not by the scientist who is creating those. That's how the world works. So in this scenario right now the group owner of the group this file is machine here, so that's when the set UID comes in. Okay, so what is this gonna do is this is a special permission set for directories. Okay, and whenever the user creates a file and directories, inside the sgid configured directory, I say folder here, okay, it will inherit the group ownership of the sgid directory. Okay, and then the group ownership is not retroactive. Okay, I'll explain you what I mean by that. So let's see here, let's look at the groups here, which group we have here. Okay, so we have the data here, right? So I'm gonna go say cat etc groups, and so we have so many groups here, right? We have machine and all that. Okay, so let's see if we have a accounting group. Do we have an accounting group? No. So I'm gonna do a group add. I'm gonna do humans. You're dealing with the machine, right? So the 9001 is a group, humans group here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clear this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do ls-ld data. Let me capture this part here. Okay, and now he created, Terminator came in here into this folder and he created a file name, and what happened here is even though the root is the owner, the group owner is belong to root here, but he's creating the file in here, but the group owner is machine here. Why is it machine here? Because we set this group ownership Uh, so you know what? Actually, hold on. I'm confusing you. So let me do rm-rf. Okay, everything is deleted here. rm-rf and asterisk. Everything is gone. So I'm gonna get back here. I'm gonna do ls-ld and data. So the group ownership here is regular root here, right? So I'm gonna change the group ownership to accounting or humans. chown. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say humans, and I'm gonna assign it to data. Changing the group data operation not permitted. I need to change it as a root. Okay, now we're talking. So pay attention to humans here. Okay, now I'm gonna go in there as a terminator. cd data. I'm gonna create a file named touch file1. Okay, and if I do ls-l, it didn't made any difference here because it still belong to still the owner is terminator and the group is machine because the terminator is part of a machine group here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to force the ownership here. Even if the terminator create new file here, going forward humans will be the owner of the files here. Okay, so how am I going to do that? It's pretty simple here. So this is how you execute the command here. chmod, okay, g plus s and data. Now if you do ls-ld data, and now you see here a little s. You see a little s here, right? So what will happen is this is an indication that a set GID is on the folder. S is indication that SGID is on folder data.
So what happened to the execute for the group permissions?
This part here?
Yes.
Yeah, the execute is still there too. The
Oh,
execute permissions are there too. Yep, it's not going to change.
Okay. No, my question is like, how would you know now? Since the S is over it now, it's not showing the execute.
Execute, how you will know it's not showing. That's a very good question. It never crossed my mind. It might have, but I don't remember if I. Okay, so what we could do is we could definitely remove the execute and see what happens here. My thinking is it may still keep S in there. Okay, so I'll come back to this in a minute here. Let me finish this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create touch file 2 as a terminator. And if I do ls-l, now you see here the user is a terminator, but the group owners is the machine humans here. Anybody who is part of a human group has these permissions here. Okay, so the file permission is not going to carry over from the group permission here. It's only the group permission that if anybody has the group permission here, he's able to do this here. Reading a file is a big permission actually. If you don't want anybody to read a file, you just remove the read file, right? Giving the read permission is actually a big deal. The real data doesn't have a read permission for the group. Only the user have a read permissions in reality. So now going forward, no matter who comes in here, if any other user comes in here, he will be the owner of the file and the group will belong to the humans group. Okay. So let me copy this. So I'm gonna go back here as a root. I'm gonna go chmod group -x, okay, /data. Let's do ls-ld data. Okay, now it's showing the uppercase S. So let's see here. I'm gonna create the file here, touch file 3, and if I do ls-ld, so the uppercase file S is there. But do you see the difference what happened here? ls-,
Yeah.
no, not ls-ld, ls-l. ls-l is, so the read write permission is, so the uppercase S is showing here, right? Why is it showing uppercase S? It will show as if it's uppercase S, that means it doesn't have, it has the GID set, but it doesn't have the execute permission for regular users. So who else could go into this directory here? So let's see, cat etc password. Let's log in as Spider-Man. New session. I'm going to go into cd data, ls-l, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cat the permissions. He has a read permissions, right? You can't execute the folder.
No, I think you can still execute it even as a different user because the other has execute permissions. We just changed the group permissions.
Yeah, so, oh, okay, yeah.
You have to take off the execute permissions from the other to see if it stops working.
That is very good. I'm really happy you got it, man. I mean, you almost have everything needed for the job. Everything almost here. If you understand permissions and user administration, that's it. That's all you need for some of the jobs here out there. So yeah, actually I'm logging in as a user here. So if I'm part of any other group, let's see if Spider-Man is part of, what group is Spider-Man part of? He is not part of any special group. So he is still other. He's considered other in this scenario, right? Because he is Spider-Man here. So who can come in here and cannot execute? That's what I'm thinking.
So when you don't have the execute permission, you can't even open up the directory, right? See what
Yes.
files are.
Yeah,
Okay.
you cannot go into the directory. But if you're looking at the data here, the data directory, right now we were logged in as Spider-Man, right? This is where Spider-Man is considered. He's considered part of other. He's not considered a part of group here. Okay, so for us to make him a part of group, he need to be in humans group. So let's add him to the human group, and let's see if he's able to read the file. Okay, so right now if you do cat file 3, he is able to read the file, right? But if we put him in the humans group, user mod -g and -a, uppercase G, so it's going to be secondary group, and humans and Spider-Man. Okay, so let me exit, get out of this, and so let's see if he's able to get in there at all. So he's able to get in there. Now let's see if he's able to cat the file 3. Okay, cat file 3. He's able to do file 3 because
Here, how about if we did, like do chmod and then do O -X and then for /data. And then I think it should not allow him to cat in.
No, the reason he's able to cat it is because the permissions here are on the directory here. So one thing I missed here is you have to give uppercase R here. You have to give uppercase R here, then it will become the same permissions recursively. That means set the permissions for all of them inside the directory. Okay, so if I do ls-ld data, okay, so it doesn't seem like it has changed anything. So if I do ls-l, now the permissions have changed. So now if I exit here, let me get back in there as Spider-Man. Duplicate session. Okay, now he's denied permission. Aha! Why is he denied permission? Because now he's a part of a group, right? A humans group. So that group doesn't have execute permission. He's coming in now as a part of a humans group. He's not coming in into the directory as a regular user. So if we take him out from the regular user, G password, right? -D Spider-Man humans. Okay, removing Spider-Man from the group humans. Now let's try if he's able to do it. I think I have to exit out of here. Oh no, why am I going as root? So now he should be able to go in there. See? All right, interesting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so let me copy this here. So touch humans. Now, if a Spider-Man creates a file in there, is he able to create a file? We gave him, what is the folder permissions? Read, write, execute, okay? Now, if a Spider-Man creates a file here, if a Spider-Man creates a file here, right? Touch file 4. So it will be a part of a Spider-Man user, and then there will be part of a group humans. Okay. Listen, Spider-Man is not even a part of a humans group anymore, but the file is still being forced to be part of a humans here. Why? Because the SGID is set on the folder here. SGID is set for humans.
Wait, what happened to the permissions? Why does it have different permissions? That file.
The one created by Spider-Man?
Yes. It gives group read write, and then it doesn't have the recursive S that I thought you said.
Yeah, it should be going forward. It would have been. Let's see here. Read write hyphen S here. So it's not doing for the new files. Uppercase R. All right, so now if you get stuck like that, you just put it in here and see what comes up. G plus S chmod plus S sets both the UID and GID bits, while chmod G plus sets only the GID. GID ID bit. That's a good catch here. I am not sure why it should have been. It should have provided the same permissions here, not like this one here. So Spider-Man, the group he is okay. This part is good. This part is expected here, but we force it to be recursively, and then we wanted to set GID on this file here too. But when he's creating a new file as a new user, it's not doing that. So let's see if I create it as a terminator, what is it going to do? Let me get out of here. Let me get back in there again. Touch file 5 plus FNL. It's losing it. It lost. Why did he lost? Why did he lost? Why did it lost? So this is an unrelated command, but this command should keep it here. So directory and files inside it. Okay, you could also use equal sign also instead of plus. Okay, yeah, this is a fancy combination. This is more visual here. If you look at this, Burhan, you could do U plus G, or you could assign it. I kind of like this one too. That way you know if you are assigning what permissions you are assigning to who. Yeah. Maybe what we could do is we give the chmod. Okay, a new folder was created in data, both users read-write permissions, but are a number of ways it can be done, one of which would be to join the user to the special group. We'll go over that. If Bethany and Jacob are only users for the system, you know your network is very important. Breakdown of above command here. Okay, so uppercase I modify the permission of the parent folder and the child objects within. This gives UGO, user group, and others read and write access. chon-r. All right, let's take a 15-minute break here. We'll come back in 15 minutes. Is that okay? We'll come back at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
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 So I just thought of, let me exit out of here. Then I'll come back in here and see what it's going to do.
Okay.
Exit. Exit. So let me get back in here. So what I'm going to do is touch file 6. Okay, so it's still, let's do it as a terminator. Let's see what he's doing it. CD data. Wow. His permissions are different.
Yeah.
Because group read write, he's a part of a humans group. I suspect it's carrying over this write permissions here. But why would he carry over the write permissions when so the terminator is giving the regular permissions and he is giving extra write permissions. Touch file 1.
Earlier on, like in earlier classes, weren't we messing with the default permissions for like the groups, like when we created the Spider-Man group and the Terminator group? Could that be it or no? Should it not be doing that?
Well, it shouldn't be. So here's the thing, I set the permission recursively, right? So moving forward, all the permissions should look like this, no matter who's creating it.
Okay.
But even the terminator, he's giving the default permissions.
Yeah.
And so what you have to look into it is, so you have to zero it on the folder permissions here. So read, write, execute. It's for the folder though. So here the execute is only for the folders. Is only for the folders here. So now the permission should be read, write, read, and read. So over here, since Spider-Man is part of humans, he's carrying over these permissions here, but I'm not sure why is he carrying over these permissions. What we could do is let's pick up another user and put him in humans and see how he's gonna.
For the other permissions, it's not supposed to carry over the W, the write and the execute for the files.
Yeah.
It's only supposed to be read, write, read, and read.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's for the others it has to be humans, right? He's part of a humans. Let's look at what is he part of? ID Spider-Man. Oh, he's a part of others. He's not part of a human group, okay?
okay.
So what I suspect here is he's carrying over other permissions
Oh yeah, I get it.
and then giving it to
His
the group here. But is Terminator part of humans? Yeah, he's not part of humans.
Oh.
Group ID. Yeah, that is interesting to look into furthermore. So I'm going to leave it here. But for this exercise, the only thing we were concentrating on is the group. Okay, no matter who the what that person is doing, what the user is doing, all the files going forward will be belong to the humans group. Okay, even though he is not part of a human group. For example, Spider-Man, he's not part of human group, so he's Terminator. Okay, so that is something I'm gonna look into it. So let's see here what happened here. So Terminator. Excuse me. Okay, so I changed the data chmod plus G, and the Terminator is able to do it, and also Spider-Man, he is able to do this too. So if you do ls-ld, history, so if there is no execute permission, it will show up as a uppercase. uppercase S, without group execute. So if I change it back to the default permissions, chmod 755, right? 755 is the default permissions for the folder.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna say data ls-ld data.
Got rid of the right.
Yeah, so now you see these are the default permissions here. Read write, read write. So this is execute also. The folder, here's the thing here, the set GID is set on the folder, not the file. So I suspect maybe it's set GID is set on folders, and then it's just worried about this part here. It's not worried about the permissions. Because the default permission for a file would be so a default permission for a file would be
It's 644.
yeah 644. So let's see what is this doing here when I logged in as Terminator.
The Terminator files are giving the default. It's just the Spider-Man ones they're giving it. The Spider-Man is giving, I think, like that 664.
Terminator. What, he doesn't have access now? Okay. CD data ls ls-l. Now why is it highlighted in there? So now if I do touch files 8, oh, permission denied. Why is the permission denied?
Because you're not part of the group anymore.
Oh, okay.
Two permissions from other.
So now let's try it in Spider-Man.
I don't think he's a part of the group either.
Yeah, but he is a part of this group, all right? So Spider-Man is not part of ID, so he is the part of group machine. But the reason a Terminator is not able to go in there is because only group humans are allowed to go in there, or others. So he should be able to go in there, right? Yeah, he is. Now let's do touch file 8. Uh-oh.
This is what I was talking about. You won't let me create a file.
So now the Terminator and Spider-Man are part of others, right? So the default permission is to create a file, you need to have the execute permission also. I'm sorry, the write permission. Yeah, it's right in the plain sight here. They don't, both group, they don't have the write permission. You have to change the write permission.
Yes.
No, the read write. Okay, so the 755 is the default permission. If you want to grant them, then you have to give the write permission also. So you do chmod groups and others plus write /data. Okay, and then let's do this here. Yeah, now he's able to do it.
So they need the execute to go into the folder, right? And then
No,
they
no,
need the
yeah,
write.
yeah, but the execute to go into the folder which they already have.
Yes.
Okay, and
then read
write
is-
to write into the
write.
folder.
Okay. And then the read is to see the files in the folder, right?
Yeah. So if I do cat file 8 as a Terminator, he is able to read it. Now he should able to write to it to 9. So he's able to write also. Let's see what the permissions are showing up. Okay, now the Spider-Man permissions keeping the same. So I wonder where is that write permissions for the Spider-Man coming in from. Is Spider-Man a part of humans? No. He's not part of a humans. Alright, so that is very interesting for myself. So we'll just leave it there here, okay? I mean, I'm a little surprised here. I don't get to see this all the time here. I'm only worried about if somebody gives me permissions. You just have to add that folder to a group, and then that part of a group is usually have enough permissions here, okay?
Okay.
So it gets complex here. But the security in any place, if it's a physical security or security of the system, it's only as good as people's security. And I mean, if people want to do a damage to anything, it's just possible there, because if they have access and if you want to do a damage from inside, then who's going to stop that? Nobody could stop that. All right, so let's move on. So the next topic is set UID, okay? We did set GID. The next topic is set UID. Set UID. SUID. Okay, so let's see how this is working. So SUID, the command inherits the owner's execute permission. Okay, so we are dealing with the command here. So let me show you what it means. SUID is used for the files for the execution permission. Purpose, I should say. Okay, it inherits the owner's execute permission, I'm going to say owner/root, okay? And so the regular user does not have permission, but still can update the file when executing the command. So what is going to happen is I'm going to show you one example here, okay? So let's look at the permissions for this file, ls-l etc etc shadow file. You know what a shadow file is for? Shadow file keeps the passwords.
Okay.
Yeah, so shadow file keeps the password here. So when you update the password, so look at this here, alphanumeric. Look at it here, the alphanumeric. So let me log in as, let me get rid of Spider-Man. So I'm going to clear this. CD. So if I do like cat etc shadow, it says the permission denied, all right? But if I'm doing the command password, I'm changing my own password, right? So yes. I'm gonna change the password. Okay, the password is same as old, so I'm gonna change it a difficult password. Okay, so what happened here is you ran the password command and this file got updated. The shadow file got updated. Okay, so if you do ls-l etc shadow. Okay, so look at the timestamp here. It says December 12, 1528. So that's about right here. So okay, so my time is East Coast. So my time is East Coast time, and then it is about, you know, it's matching here. So we updated at 1528, which is like a 1 minute ago. So I updated the password 1 minute ago, and what happened, look at the permission here. Even though there is no permission, as a regular user, this file is getting updated here. Okay, how is that file getting updated? Because the password command has a set UID permission set. So let's see here which password. Okay, and let's do ls-l on this. ls-l. Okay. So if you look at this file here, this is owned by root, this command. Okay, and then read write. Let me go into the file. So let's see here. When we are running this password command here, it's running this read write, and you see a S here, right?
Yeah.
And this is able to do read write execute and read write execute. Okay, there are some commands. If these commands are system commands, even though you see this here as a execute, the user, the file has to be set as SUID. Okay, if it's not set as SUID, then the execute command will still not work. Okay, so I'll show you how. So what I'm gonna do is, so let me copy this here. Okay, so
What key did you click when you typed /user/gen/password and it started telling you to change the password? How did you get out of that?
oh, Control C.
Okay.
Control C on Windows will cancel it out for you. So let's see here. So what I'm gonna do is, let me clear this. If I do ls-l password, let me do ls-l first.
So what is this showing?
Read write execute. The ping used to be the classic example for this. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Okay, so if I do this here, so this changed, right? So we change the password, and you look at closely here. The alphanumeric number has changed here. Look at this here, and this is not the same because the password has changed. Okay, I could copy this and put it back in there, and it will bring you back the old password. Believe me, it will definitely do that for you. Okay, that's another topic there. I think I already showed you how to manually add the password, right? Yeah, I did that. So what I'm gonna do now is okay. So a regular user terminator so a mount command is actually a mount slash dev slash sd f1 slash data. Okay, mount only the root can do that. Okay, I'm not worried about that here. So let's only concentrate on this file here, the password file here, right? So let's talk about that. So what is happening here is, if you do ls-l, let me see where the root is here. So this file is actually using the root permissions here, right? This is a typical example for user running with root permission. So what does the password file do? Password command, let's see here if we are able to go in the file here. Okay, it's written in binary, so turn it off. Hold the power button. So this is written in binary, so I'm gonna clear this. So the part of the password command does is generally password command is allowed for regular user, but this command is editing /etc shadow file. Okay, did you get it? What I'm doing here? So the command is accessible here, but that command is editing the etc shadow file here. Okay, look at the permissions here. Permissions are silly. It seems like nobody has permissions here. But I think one time I told you this doesn't matter for root. If there is no permission even for root or the owner, that doesn't mean root doesn't have password here. In this scenario, looking at the permissions, no one has write permission, right? Okay, but when you update, when you are running the password command here, if you're running password command here, right, it's asking you to put the current password in, and then I'm going to put in the new password. New password. I really hate this. Okay, I ran this as a regular user here, okay? But look at the file. Look at the file got updated just at the same moment when I updated the password here. That means that this command, so the permissions are not set on this command here. The permissions are set on the password command. The permissions are set on password command. You see a little S here. This will allow for this execution of password to update this password file. So when you're doing this, it's inheriting the root permission here. So the regular user does not have permission, but it still can update the file when executing the command, okay? So the root is owner and he is updated the file here. So when you run this command, your specific command, it will update the file using the root. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the permissions here. So password. Okay, so he doesn't have any permissions. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as a root, remove the permissions here, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to say ch ls-l bin user password What is it? Which password? Okay, so I'm gonna remove the permissions here. Chmod. Okay, U-S. If I do U-S, U minus S means I'm subtracting the UID permissions here. And if I do ls-l, the permissions are gone. It's only the regular permissions here. Okay, so let me copy this.
So now I won't allow the user to change his own password?
Yep. User is not able to change his own password yet. I'm not sure if I need to exit or not, but let's try without exiting. So what I'm gonna do is so it should give us the error message here. So I'm gonna say password, and I'm gonna say and the new password I'm gonna give it should give us an error here. It says password authentication token manipulation error. So that now the user is unable to update the password here. Why? Because looking at the file here, this file is still everybody has execute permission here, but what this file is doing is executing and writing to the shadow file. So for that you need to have the UID set. Okay, so I'm going to change it back. Okay, let's do clear password. Okay, I'm going to put in the old password. Okay, I may have to exit out of it, right? Okay, so I'm going to say password. I'm going to give the old password again. And I'm going to give the new password. Now he's able to do it. Okay? You got the idea.
Could you show me how you could change Terminator's password from the root user?
From the root user?
Yes.
Password? Terminator.
Okay.
And you could set it as like any number. I mean, when you're setting the password for yourself as a root or as any other user, you could just set anything as that. It doesn't care. It does not stop you from changing it if it's a dictionary word or something.
Okay. So it only kept asking you to choose a better password because you were just a regular user?
Yeah, it enforces for the regular user. It even gives the warning to root, but root could override it. So I'm going to give the password red hat. It even says the password is shorter than 8 characters. As a regular user, you have to do it more than 8 characters, or 8 characters at least. But it gives you warnings like that, but it still updates it for you.
Okay.
Okay, now the user is able to
So even if there was no S for the user and the user bin password, if the person had sudo permissions, a regular user, he would be able to change it, right? He would just have to use sudo.
still won't unless he switches root.
Okay.
Oh, if he is in a wheel group, that's very interesting. I never tried that. If he's in a wheel group, then he's switching as user. Then that command is being executed as a root.
Okay.
Yeah, very good catch right there. So let's mess around with ping command. Which ping? So as a regular user, you should be able to use ping, right? In the old days, it used to be ping. Okay, so you are able to run it as ping. So what I'm going to do is ls-l. So he is, so what I'm going to do is chmod user plus s ping. Okay, and ls-l. So let's see if he's able to ping. Okay, he's able to ping now. If I do minus, yeah, I think in Red Hat 6 the ping used to be the perfect example for this. So let's see.
Was the ping not working when you didn't have the S?
No, it was still working.
Okay.
It used to be ping. If you do in a Red Hat 6, let me see if I have a Red Hat 6 somewhere. Red Hat 6. I have Red Hat. No, I stopped using Red Hat 6.
So like, what were you trying to show?
In Red Hat 6, ping used to have SUID on it, set UID.
Okay.
So
now the only difference is they got rid of it. You don't need that anymore.
yeah, it used to be SUID for the regular user to be able to. So it used to allow, if you don't want somebody to use ping at all, you could block it too.
Okay.
So it's using this is 3 years ago.
That's interesting. Why would they remove it?
I know. So I ran this command. Let me run this command and see. So ping used to come right up. Ch age. So not too many. Okay, so let's see here. Let's do this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this. And I'm going to say, okay, ping right. So what I'm going to do is chmod. Chmod. I'm going to remove 644.
Okay.
And let's see. I hope this is actually 744, right?
Yes. Did you even have to change the second one after 7.4 because the group is set to root, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're. I mean, for the regular user, yeah, you're right. I don't have to, so I could use this 764. And if I do ls-ld, and as a terminator, let's see if he's able to do the ping at all. So the permission is denied. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give only the permission user plus s. Okay, now you see here he doesn't, others doesn't even have execute permission here. Now he should be able to ping now. Why not? Let me exit and come back. Okay, so he's still. So what is happening here is you have to look inside the. I think if it's in binary, yeah, it's written in binary, so we can't see it. You have to open it in binary. So I think they changed the ping at the core level, that it just allow the ping to have the permissions. But he still need the execute permission too. That doesn't make any sense if I'm doing this here. So it's gonna work now. Yeah. But regardless what it is, it's since ping is not part of a sticky bit, and it doesn't matter if it's if we are doing it, changing it, because it's at the core level that the permissions are set for the ping here, so it should still work now. Yeah, still working. Let's play around with the sudo file. Let's see, look at the sudo file here. So when you run this command, it's bringing up all the files that has sticky bit in there. chage, gpassword, chfn, new group, su, mount. All right, so I'm not worried about it. Let's just if you want to play around, I'll recommend to play around with this file and add terminator to the wheel group. Okay, so sudo, it has s in it. Oh, okay, it looks little weird though, but it's normal. So it's gonna execute this with the sticky SUID on it. So it's gonna inherit the execute permission of a root and execute the sudo. If I remove chmod u minus s and the file name, okay. Now let's see ID terminator. So let's add him to the wheel group. User mod -ag wheel. Okay, and if I want to sudo hyphen, okay, must be owned by UID 0 and have set UID bit set. Actually, it's telling you now. So if I change the SUID back to plus, now he should be able to do that. Yep.
Okay.
He's not in. You have to come, exit and come back in. See, he became root. Also, don't stress too much about this. You're never gonna do it. You might do it. I have to look at the hardening script. Most of the development boxes you don't need to worry about too much, but some financial institutions, like who are running the credit card payments and all that, they might do it.
Okay.
We'll see here. Well, at least you got the idea what is happening here, right? So whenever you see a little s in the permissions here, that's what is happening. So the more you play around with the system, the better it gets here. Don't be afraid to break it, okay?
Okay.
ID Terminator. Uh-oh. I wanted to capture the error message it had.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So you know how you gave Terminator for Terminator to access the user bin password, you need to have the SUID added
Yeah.
for it to change the password,
Mm-hmm.
and then for it to use sudo, you need it to be part of a group.
Yes. But now I'm taking out the execution permission for the sudo file, sudo command. The command you do sudo su this command.
The only time you get the execution permission is if you're part of the group.
No, you could try to you don't have to be part of a group, but you could try it. It will, if you're not part of that group. So it's like the web here is checking the sudo permissions as well as is also checking the sudo execution permissions too.
Okay.
The,
So if you
just because
you have the S, you have the S, right? The SUID in the sudo permissions.
yeah, by default it does.
Okay.
So when I removed it, even though he was part of a Terminator group, I removed SUID. So sudo is always have a permission for root. So if you don't have a SUID here you have a SUID, right?
Yes.
And here I took it out. And this puppy, even though he's part of a wheel group, that doesn't mean anything. These are all the security. This is where all the securities and all that. This could be a part of a security engineering group. All these things are like you are blocking this and that and small things. So now,
just like you need to have a group for the sudo, could you make it possible that you need to also be a part of a group to change the password too.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Could you show how you do that? How you create that group?
Let's do this here. So let me put everything by default here. So I'm gonna put everything by default. Let me see, he's able to get in now. Yeah, it will ask for the password. Okay, so let me exit. So for the documentation purpose, so he did SU. Now, let me copy this here. Now he's able to become the root here, right? All right, so let's do here. Let's create a group, add superhero. Okay, and if you do ls-l, you do cat etc group. So we have superhero group 902, right? So let's play with the Spider-Man here. So let's see ls-l id Spider-Man. Okay, so he is he's a loner now. He's not part of any special groups here. So what I'm going to do is user mod hyphen add hyphen g and then group name and then Spider-Man. Okay, so let me copy it here. So let's see here. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is ID Spider-Man. So he's a part of a group 902. So which is going good. Now what I'm gonna do is you do ls-ld l user bin sudo, right? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do to this file here other. Okay, so I'm gonna do chmod o plus s. Okay, bin bash. So if I do ls-l, okay, so s over here, setting s over here, it does grant permission to these guys and these guys. Others, because terminator is other, right? He's not part of this group here, root. So what will happen here is, if you want to give the sudo permissions, so you want to give the sudo permission to Spider-Man without him being actually in a wheel group?
Yes.
I'm sure that can be done, but it's a little complex here. So how are we going to do that? Let's see here. What is the wheel group file? Wheel. You have to look at the wheel group first. Where is the wheel group? Okay, so if I go in this directory, SMPT remote users. I think you have to define single commands. Sudo access versus sudo -ag, which sudo. So I can do the following line. So you have to go into vi sudoers, right? Vi sudo How is a Spider-Man part of the wheel group? Allow people in the wheel group to run all commands. Yeah, he's not in there. Is a file named PAMD. Okay, so you have to go user all. So you have to go into the vi sudo or files here. And here, over here, allow root to run any commands anywhere. Okay, over here, same thing without the password. Allow members of the user group to mount. Allow users of the okay, here so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this to superhero. And then take this out.
So it has to be based off a group ID.
Yeah, the superhero, right? That's what we did?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's see here. Let's see if we are able to do it here. So let me log in as Spider-Man. Okay, so he's part of superhero, so SUD or SU hyphen. There you go.
So would it work for anybody, everybody, if you were to delete both the wheel group and the superhero group if it had no groups? Or would that just be nobody could access them?
You mean the take out the SUID for the sudo file?
No, like where you were just in the VI for the pseudo file.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you took out the superhero and the wheel group, would it just allow anybody, or would it not allow anybody?
Wheel group will be disabled. If I take out the wheel group from this file?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, if I take the wheel group off, so which I'm gonna do it now. So only the superhero is able to go. if I put terminator in there,
I'm saying, will there be a way to just like disable groups so it does that anybody, any user, even if they're not part of a specific group, can access sudo? That would be a bad thing, but I just want to know, is that possible?
you have to be a root for you to be able to edit the sudo file. lsfnl etc. Actually, when you do vi sudo, are you actually editing this file here? See right here, the sudo file is, where is the sudo file sitting? It's sitting right here, sudo verse s. So now if you look at the permissions here, it's owned by root, and it doesn't even have write permissions to anybody. So you must be a root for you to be able to grant those permissions here. Did I, like, say a question one more time?
So instead of having a group ID have access to it, just allow anybody to use the sudo, any user. Would you just have to change these permissions right here?
No. For you to be able to edit, because what is happening is sudo file is hitting the sudo files, and it will read who's in that group for it to be able to grant the permissions. But if you set these permissions here as for this file to give a permissions here to anybody, then he should be able to edit the sudoers file. So right now, ID Spider-Man, he's not in a wheel group, right?
Yes.
Yet he is still able to go into the sudoers file because we put him into the we put the group into the place where it says, let's exit out of here and see if he's able to go back in there. Yeah, he's exit, duplicate. Yeah, he is able to. Now let's add terminator. He's in wheel group already, so let's see if he's able to go into wheel group. So terminator is not in the sudoers files. This will be removed. Okay, so the group has to be in the sudoers files also. So this file is highly guarded here. So when the hacking is going on, there are a couple things which is happening here. When the hacking is going on, the target will be the DNS server. In the DNS server, it will be target for LDAP, where all the IDs are, and then the log server. Okay, when we set up DNS, I'll talk about that more. But here, so in the all these groups are hitting in here. Allow people in the wheel group to run all commands here. So when you do this here, then it's doing it here. At the same time, you could add all the other groups here, and you could make him go the commands here. There is one more place here. Over here, you could define allow root to run any commands anywhere. Root all. So here, what we could do is we could remove the sudo, and then we could put in here some limited access here. Instead of doing all, what you could do is you could do this here. Bob. You could give only few, you have to give the full location of the command here for it to be able to exit here. So what you could do is % group and then instead of all, you put in the command name. What I'll do is I'll try to get some information last week here. So this is coming back to the same place here where you want to give the sudo access but restricted to only few commands. You could do that, definitely do that. Instead of all, you take it off and then you put in the name of the command here. Okay, like this here, all sudo vers, and then you do another line bob all equals then the name of the command. So let's see here. You have some very good questions, man. Very good questions. So what you do is, let's run this again. Let's see here. So here, what happened here is, remember I tried to mount as a user, right? And I was not able to mount as a user. So what you could do is which mount. Okay, so mount is running from this command here. So what you could do is you could go into here. I'm going to go into vi sudo again. What I'll do is okay, all bin bash sudo. Okay, now what I'm going to do is id Spider-Man. Okay, he's not a wheel group and wheel group is not in there anymore, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit. And let's see, Spider-Man is able to do so he's not able to do sudo su anymore. Okay, now let's see Terminator. He's a su sudo su. Oh, he's part of a wheel group, right? So he is. But let me clear this. Let's blk. So I'm going to say mount /dev/sdf1. I'm going to mount it to data folder. Okay, so it says only root can do it. Let's do this for the Spider-Man because we allowed only one command to do it for Spider-Man. Only root can do it. I may have to look in here.
Wouldn't you have to do sudo first and then do your mount /dev?
Yeah. You're right. Yep. You have a very good understanding. But he's not able to do this here because he's able to only run one command.
Okay.
Alright, so this is what I was talking about, restricting, giving the sudo access here. So in here, you could put a laundry list of commands in here that will restrict only that user to run it right here. Right here.
Okay. So if you were to change the permissions of the etc/sudo to like give it read, write, execute for others, would that allow anybody to just edit the sudo command, sudo file, or just use it to go into root?
It will. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do it now. So I'm gonna chmod 755. I'm thinking it may not, because SC Linux, there is a concept called SC Linux here, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, let's see, VI. No. Still won't. Why? Because he's able to read it. Let's see if he's able to VI2. Yeah, he's able to VI2. I was thinking SC Linux would do this.
So can you try sudo su? See if that.
That's a good question. Yeah, he's not able to.
He's not able to. Okay. Why is that?
Oh, because in here he need to be part of that
Wheel group.
yeah, group, or some commands at least. If I uncheck this right here, that one, and then now if I do this here, now he should be able to do it.
Okay.
Let me exit and come back. Is it in edit mode? etc sudo is world writable. It says world writable.
Yeah. Just because we changed the permissions?
Yeah, anybody in the world could do it. So I'm gonna change the permission to 660. Oh no, 440.
And it wouldn't matter either if it was 000 because the root can still get it, right?
Yeah. Now he's able to. Yeah, you have very, very good understanding. I mean, I'm really happy I have one of your students like you. So,
Thanks.
yeah. Honestly, I'm not doing all this at work here. Sometimes there is called hardening script. I mean, those things are done by white hats. I told you about. The white hat, like they know they know Linux and then other things beyond Linux into the security world and all that. So those people, yeah, they would be implementing all these things here. So it's not that hard to implement. It just you just have to look it up and implement it.
Alright. Could you go to the buddy screen and just show the blocked LSBLK? Just wanted to see something. Okay. So what were the dates that you said you could in the night or help us with?
Yeah, we'll chat in the chat here, but I'm available 24, 25.
Okay.
And 26, 27 is going to be,
Class.
yeah. I may have to check in if I have any security patches I need to do at work. Oh, okay, so it's blocked anyway, so change freeze is there. So there's nothing I need. All right, so that's it for today, and then we'll catch up tomorrow, and then there's one more topic, and then we'll finish the permissions, and then maybe we'll go into scripting tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to end now, and then we'll catch up tomorrow. You have a good one.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Yeah.